Welcome to Stay at Home Dads, a podcast.
With your hosts, Drew and Justin, a place where we talk about a lot of guy stuff.
And a little bit of dad stuff too. So kick back, relax, and let's talk.
All right, guys. So welcome to Stay at Home Dads. Today's episode, well, first of all, this is our little special guest. This is my daughter, Sophia. And usually she's asleep right now, but she wants to be on the episode because apparently mommy's in bed and she just
she's excited. She's excited to partake in what dads do.
I'm not bouncing her. She's jumping in my lap right now. So, okay.
What do you got tonight? What do you got?
All right, so this is my topic idea. I brainstormed this myself with my own brains. I thought we should talk about times that we got in trouble as kids, like where maybe it wasn't
more than like more trouble, deeper trouble.
I'm talking like when we got in deep trouble. So just times when things kind of went south and we weren't really thinking, or maybe we like aligned ourselves with friends that weren't the best influences on us. So Would you like to kick it off, or shall I start with a story of my youth?
Well, go ahead. Go fire one off, because you're holding some precious cargo. You gotta get it out while she's being good for you. So So I'm trying to think. Well, I would say like the first time I kind of got in trouble, it wasn't like super bad, but I just was riding bikes, like how kids always ride bikes. And like I met up with some friends that I knew from like elementary school. And we decided to go to a drugstore, and I didn't realize like they were like repeat shoplifters. Like they were doing this on a regular basis. And like this was not like briefed to me, like this was not like told to me. And so we go into this drugstore, and they're like stuffing their pockets with like gum. And like, I feel like they stole cigarettes. I don't know how they got cigarettes. I feel like we had cigarettes because I feel like there was like a behind the drugstore, like by the dumpster cigarette episode of this adventure. But they had lighters, they had cigarettes, they had gum. I feel like they got some like Matchbox cars. Anyway, so apparently like that's a good haul. Yeah,
it was a good haul. This drugstore. I didn't take any of this crap, by the way, because
you're just watching kind of in horror, almost as in shock. Like
I was a perfect angel. There was like a halo on my head the entire time. And like, they never briefed me about this. It was like, what was going to happen. So after the fact, we're riding our bikes, and they're like, all right, let's go behind this store. And like, they're like pulling out cigarettes. I was like, whoa. Well, anyway, this is where I kind of did get in trouble. So we had lighters, and like, I didn't care about the cigarettes because I was like, this was like elementary school. I was like, I don't want cigarettes. I want the gum. They gave me some gum. They gave me the lighters. I was like, ooh, fire's cool.
Some Ciclets or something.
Yeah. So we rode our bikes over to like our elementary school, and like there was like this kind of like hallway that is kind of like a bridge, the way it was kind of like structured, where like you could kind of go underneath this hallway, like outside. So we were outside under this like area that we kind of called like this hallway bridge. And like there's all this graffiti down there. And we were like checking out the graffiti, and we we're like lighting the lighters so we could see it. And it was almost time for school to start. So like this vice principal came out, and he's like, he saw us, he caught us with like the lighters underneath the bridge. So I did get kind of busted. And like the extent of it was, he just like took our lighters basically and said like, all right, he's like, give me the lighters, guys. And we're like, okay, here's our lighters. And he's like, all right, I don't forget faces. I'm going to remember you guys. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But that was like the extent of that. So that was
just write me up, old man.
Just write me up, old man. But it's like summer vacation. So like, I'm not even in class. But I don't know. Like I kind of got in trouble because he did steal my lighter and, and said, I'm going to remember your face. And I was like,
so were you ever scared that you were going to get like your parents told, or the parents were going to be contacted, or anything? Like, were you freaked out? Like
he never contacted my parents. And to be honest, I saw this vice principal guy like in, like when school started, and he never even like acted like he remembered the event. So I was like, this dude didn't remember. Like I look like freaking like 1,500 other little kids that are like, So,
right.
What about you, man? Do you have any weird ones that kind of bring you back?
Like
I was young though. This was like way back when I lived in I grew up, I was born in Alaska. So I lived in Alaska. And from a young age, I don't remember it at all, but I guess my mom tells me at a point where I went to her and I tried to play the behind the back pick a hand game, you know, where you put your hands behind your back and you're like, pick a hand. Well, they didn't have time for my shenanigans, you know?
Yeah.
And Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I don't know why I found this in the house, but I had a lighter. I found a lighter.
Oh.
And they didn't want to play the pick-a-hand game because they're parents. I understand that now as a parent. So I proceeded to take said lighter.
Yeah.
And I go to my room and I try to light things on fire in my house.
Okay, so what did you light on fire? Because I've got a similar story, but this is your time. So like, let's hear yours first. I did similar things.
I remember trying to light a plastic shovel, which didn't work.
Didn't work.
And I remember taking it to the wall and trying to like burn the wall, and that didn't work.
You tried to burn the drywall?
Like, yeah, but it's sheetrock, so it didn't do anything.
That's freaking. How old were you?
I don't know, probably 3 or 4, probably 4.
Oh my! You were 4 and you had a lighter.
Yeah. Well, I found it, and those are the only thing. But then the thing I did light on fire that took was my bed. So I lit a blanket on fire, and my oldest sister had come in like right when it happened and took the lighter away, and she like patted the fire out because it caught on fire. And I remember seeing the blanket like years later, like when I was like not super old but older, and there was like a hole. There was a legit like, you know, a 18-inch hole in this blanket. Like it was on fire.
And are you serious? Are you serious when you say you were 4 years old?
Yeah, I was young.
First off, it's amazing that a 4-year-old could work a lighter. I just have to say that like right off the bat, because when I was playing with the lighter, I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade. Like I was a little more advanced in my
right. Well, maybe that's why some stuff didn't light on fire. So I don't know, but I was young and I got in serious trouble. I don't remember the punishment. I should really ask my mom what the punishment was. She would probably know. She would probably remember. Yeah. But yeah, I played with fire when I was a very young tyke. And I got my hand slapped for it, I'm guessing. Okay,
so I
also played with fire later, but I'll let you go because mine is probably a little older, like when yours is. So
I just have to jump on your little story real quick. So I think I was in middle school and I had a lighter, and my sister was diabetic, so she had like these like finger alcohol swabs that were like little packets. Yeah. And for whatever reason, I was like, I know that alcohol is flammable. And I was like, let's see what this does. So I went to the bathroom, and this was like in my like parents' house. And I obviously, because I'm in middle school, and I take a tweezers because I'm at least that smart. And I take the tweezers so I have some distance from the alcohol pad, and I freaking light this thing, dude. Alcohol goes up like in a flame ball, and like it was freaking magnificent. But like it just freaking goes woof, and like I freaking dropped it. Like I was smart enough too at this age to like hold it over the toilet. So like as I got scared, I dropped it like right in the toilet. It was fine. No fire. Nobody knew the difference, but that was like my little excitement for the afternoon being like,
did you take that one? Nobody knows this story.
Nobody knows the story. I was probably like nobody ever found out. Well, yeah, nobody ever found out about this. So that was my little secret to the grave, you know.
What is with kids and fire, man?
I don't know, dude. Fire's dope. Fire's dope. Like it's so cool. Like I don't know why.
That must be what it is, because there was like another instance I played with fire, and I tried to light grass on fire. Me and a friend of mine, and I think we were even older. We were maybe like in middle school. I don't remember, but like we were playing with fire, and this was when we lived out in the country, and like we lit like dry grass on fire, and it started to go. Like it started to like go like in this ditch and everything. So we were trying to put it out. Yeah. Well, my friend's dad came, and he had like a lawn tractor with like a big plow on the front, and he came and like went through there and put it all out, and he like freaked out on us. Like he yelled at us, screamed at us. Like we felt really stupid and really bad, but we were like, oh yeah, we got busted big time. And I wouldn't even know what to do if my kid played with fire. Like, I'll be honest. Okay.
So my next story was I was in middle school, I want to say, and I think I was like in 6th grade, and we had gotten like these new computers that were like Macintosh. Do you remember Macintosh or something?
Yeah.
And for whatever, we had like this class where we were supposed to get on there and kind of like journal. And it was weird, like you were supposed to share it with like your classmates, and your classmates could like respond to like your journal thing. It was like it was weird. But anyway, like for whatever reason, I did this thing where I clicked, and like I was able to like extend like this box around the entire like screen. And then once I did that, I tried to put it in the trash can, and it went into the trash can, and like my computer system, like my computer station just went down. And I was like, uh-oh. Like I was just kind of experimenting there. And like I raised my hand and I told the teacher what I had done. Like I wasn't like being, I don't know, man. I'm freaking like in 6th grade. I was just experimenting.
Right. This is all new to you. I mean, yeah.
And I told her like what I did, and I got detention over it because they had to like get like this computer specialist come in, and like they had to fix it. And they're like, yeah, like you crashed the system and like all this. So whatever, dude. Like I probably spent like 20 minutes in detention for that, but like that was, but for me, like I was like I thought it was a big deal at the time, you know, because like
right?
I felt like I cost the school money because I felt like they had to like bring some person in to like fix it, you know.
Did you get in much trouble in school, like with teachers?
I was a pretty good kid. I will say this. I'm glad you brought that up. So one weird thing about me, and like I forgot to start recording this, so you have to keep track of like the time on this episode.
Yeah.
Did you start it or no?
Yep.
Okay. So I, for whatever reason, have always been obsessed with getting on like roofs. So like I've always gotten on every roof of every school that I've ever gone to. And I love getting on top of roofs. So that's my weird thing. Like I've done it ever since even elementary school. Like I figured out a way. Dude, I'm just like a little ninja. Like I climbed on top of it. Was really hard. I had to like prop my bike against the school, and I climbed like this like weird like concrete like dude, I figured it out. And like every school I've ever gone to, I've always gotten on the roof, and like I've loved just running around there because it's off limits and nobody's up there, and like it's a whole new world, you know, like Aladdin, like nobody's up there, like it's all like your own like little special, you know,
special place. Well, the funny thing is you, in a previous episode, I think you've talked about going to the roof at your old business, at your old company. You would go
even as an adult.
So that's like a thing that you've done. Yeah.
Yeah. And like this extended like into high school, like, and then in my adult life, like several work buildings I've worked at as an adult. I've tried as a security, because it's mostly been security, like professional stuff I've done. I've always gotten on top of the roofs, just like, I've got to check it out. I've got to make sure that we're not getting attacked by ninjas or pirates or velociraptors on the roof. You know, I got to get up there.
Right. So, yeah.
So anyway, but one time I will say this, I was up on a roof, and this was like on my elementary school, and I was like in elementary, and I was with some like bad guys, like you can bleep this, but there were some shitheads, and we got up there, and I showed them how, because it was like my specialty was like getting on roofs.
Right.
And as we were up there, they found like something to vandalize a window with, and like it was summer vacation, and they smashed a window, and I was like, dude, no, I didn't take you up here to like smash it. Like I was a good kid. I was just like an adventurous kid, you know. So so yeah, he smashed it. And what's crazy was somehow like somebody like caught us up there, and like it was like this whole like, oh my god, we gotta escape. And like I remember us like running from like this guy that like saw us like in the front of the school, and like our bikes were like at this middle section of the building, and like we had to run and like jump down, and like it was a huge jump because for some reason like, we're panicking, so like we didn't like take our times getting down. Like we just freaking like, probably jumped like 10 feet down and like ate crap on the ground and like rolled and like got on our bikes and rode off. But it was an adventure, and like we.
So you felt like you were running from the cops, and
yeah, they didn't know. It was just some dude that like saw us. I was probably like a maintenance guy. And he's like, hey kid, he's like, hey you stupid kids, like get down off the roof. Like, cause we were just like, dude, we spent the whole day up there. Like we were just like moseying around the roof, and
like groundskeeper Willie caught you up there.
Yeah, but at some point, idiot McGee like threw a rock or a brick he found like up there like through a window. And I was like, why'd you do that, dude? Like
those are bad people, man. Like you shouldn't be hanging out with those bad guys. Like, well, you know, that's a hard thing. to control, you know?
Well, I was never a bad kid, but I always feel like I found myself like in these situations where I'd be with these kids that would do a bad thing. And now I'm like, oh crap, like now I'm with them and now I'm the bad kid, you know? So,
right. And it's like, how do you like you're holding one right there. Like, how do you prevent, you know, and I understand that in some respects, like your kids have to make their own mistakes and your kids are going to make their own choices despite what parents really say.
right.
But like, how do, you know, I don't know if there's any way to like prevent her or prevent my kids from hanging out with, you know,
bad kids,
quote unquote, the wrong crowd, or
that are stealing cigarettes,
you know,
that are smashing windows on top of like elementary school buildings, you know? So
yeah, you know, and I think it really goes to just showing your kid, like letting them know and teaching them what morally is right and what morally is wrong. And you know what, I mean, they know, and you can teach them and show them like good choices and bad choices, and you know that this isn't the right thing to do or whatnot. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any other incidents like where you got in like trouble where like you were like, uh-oh, like I'm in deep trouble? Because
it was in high school. Now we're in high school. This is problems with girls, with dating, you know.
Uh-oh.
And I went to a date with this girl. I'll leave her unnamed because it doesn't matter. And I had this truck and I drove to the dance. Me and her went to the dance. It was like a homecoming dance or something like that. And then I brought her home with like a bunch of other kids. Like, so there was all these other couples, and I had like a phone. And back then, this is in like before 2000. This is like 99, maybe 2000. So this is 21 years ago. And cell phones weren't like cell phones. They were like weirdo flip phones with dials and buttons and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom loaned me her phone and was like, call me and stay in contact with me and like all this stuff. Well, I'm a kid, like I don't care. So of course I didn't do that, you know? So I left the phone in my truck. I went into this girl's house, not to do anything like inappropriate. We were just hanging out like with a bunch of group of other kids, watching movies and eating food and stuff like that. Yeah. And I ignored this phone. And now it's like 11, 12, like 1 a.m.
Oh my God.
And I finally like, so we went to the dance and did this. And then I finally like say goodbye to this kind of girl. I was kind of dating her. She went to the dance with me. And then I get out to my truck and I pick up the phone and there's just like missed call, like a bunch of these missed calls. And I was like, oh my God. Like, so I try to like call back. Nobody answers. So I just drive like straight home.
Yeah.
And I get home.
Oh no.
My mom's not home.
Oh no.
And my stepdad's awake.
Yeah.
And he was like, your mom is like driving around, like looking for you in the middle of the night because she thought that because I was like, you know, young, 16, 17. She's like, I thought, you know, she's thought that I crashed my truck, put it into a ditch because this is out in the country, out in the farmland, you know?
Yeah.
So she was driving around looking for me in the middle of the night. And I got home and I like took the biggest tongue lashing from my mom. Again, sorry, Mom, if you hear this, but like you really let me know that I messed up because I didn't have that phone with me. And I was hanging out later than I should have been because I probably had a curfew, but unbeknownst to me, I don't remember what it was, but it was a rough time. And
wow.
And I'm honestly like, I'm really scared to deal with that with my own 2 girls, like the dating and the curfew time and the allowance of a vehicle to go do things and to go, you know, they're going to go meet boys or whatever, you know, and that just like, I don't know, I guess just educate, but I don't really know. Like I'm not there yet. I don't know. I'm scared. So
I did something horrible to my dad. Like when I was in high school, he had said like, all right, he's like, I want you home tonight. He's like, I want you home at 10 o'clock. And for whatever reason, I went out with some friends and I ended up spending the night, and I didn't explain to my dad where I was. And I came home at 10 a.m. and he said, I want you home at 10 o'clock. And I said, I'm home at 10 o'clock. And like a little shit. And like, I knew what he had meant. He meant, I want you home at 10 o'clock PM. I came home at 10 o'clock AM. And like, if this little one ever does that, I have it coming, because that probably like scared my dad half to death because I didn't come home
No answer, no call, no nothing.
No
just
call,
like radio silence,
just 12 hours after he had said, like, I wanted you home is when I came home. And I'm like, I'm home, 10, I'm home at 10. You said 10. Like, what a little shit, you know?
Right. And you know that,
yeah.
You know, these kids, you know, our own kids are going to push it. They're going to, they're going to push it, and they're going to push our buttons.
Yeah.
And it's just how we react. But I don't really know. I mean, I'm sorry, you know, everyone, I don't really have any good advice yet because I'm not there. So,
yeah. But I'll tell you this, I have it coming. If she pulls a 10 a.m. when I said 10 p.m., that's just par for the course, because I pulled that on my dad. So like, it's all karma. It's all just,
it is, you know, and it's like, part of me doesn't want to, like, I mean, I want curfews and things like that, but part of me doesn't want to just totally like shelter and squash my child and my children down to where they don't get to experience things and they don't get to almost deceive me in a way, because I feel like that's maybe a good part of growing up and a good learning experience for them. But on the other hand, like, I want to protect them and I want to make sure that they're okay all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line. And I guess all the, you know, that I can do is just, you know, weigh the options and weigh the pros and cons with them and really educate them on like what's really dangerous. And you know how to make good decisions, and you know how to make the right decisions. You know what's right and wrong. You know morally what you should do, and kind of leave it up to them. And I guess that's all we can do in the end. You know, I don't know. What do you got? What are your closing statements?
For sure. Good episode, bro. You know, like a kid like me, I did get in trouble, but I always felt like it was like stuff that I did by accident or just like falling with the wrong crowd. And that's going to happen. But I think like the one thing I can say for a takeaway is basically just, I don't know, like do your best. Do your best to like parent them, but like they're going to try to trick you. And cause I tried to trick my parents, and I think at the end of the day, like it's all just a learning experience for everybody involved, you know. So
maybe it's all pre-planned, and the cards are going to go how they may, and we have to just pick them up and live life.
My dad didn't deserve the way I treated him, but maybe I do or don't deserve the way she's going to treat me, you know. But I would like to say to our viewers, please leave a like and a comment. Please tell us stories about like when you were a kid and stuff that you did where you got in trouble, or maybe you got away with it and maybe you didn't get in trouble, but stuff that you did. Like, I would love to read these, and maybe
if you have good advice, like let us know if you have good advice. Like, what should we do? How should we react, or how should we proactively address some of these things that are surely coming down the pipe to us in 10 to 15 years. So let us know. Please let us know. Please let me know.
Please let us know. And this one I feel like is going to give me like what I got coming, because I was a little, I don't know, I was a little weird with, you know, like I was a little disobedient in my teen years. So
we'll find out soon.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Sophia, for being our guest tonight. She did not want to sleep, and usually she's in bed right now. So this was a little special Stay-at-Home Dads edition tonight.
Yeah, she was a trooper, man. She did real well for our 20-minute show. So thank you, Sophia.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, later.
All right, bye.
All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching Stay-at-Home Dads.
You know the drill, guys. Blah, blah, blah. Hit that like button. Subscribe.
We'll catch you on the flip side.